In this video, I will tell you how to get your bristlenose plecos to spawn. Be sure to watch this video all the way to the end, because there I'm going to show you videos of the fry during their first week, showing them growing from tiny, chubby fry with yolk sacs to miniature versions of the adults. While I am talking about these steps, I will be showing you video of my pair of Super Red Bristlenose hanging around the spawning cave and doing things like cleaning the cave and Daddy Pleco sitting on the eggs. The first step in breeding your fish is getting them ready to spawn. The fish should be large and old enough to be sexed, which means they are sexually mature. And once they are sexually mature, then sexing them is easy. The male will have the bristles on his nose, which they're famous for, and the female will not. Now that we have a pair old enough, we need to get the male extra healthy and the female bursting with eggs. Feed your pair extra feedings of high-fat, high-protein foods like frozen bloodworms or live baby brine shrimp. The baby shrimp eventually just sink to the bottom, and then the plecos just suck them up. Here is the main food that I use: algae wafers and frozen bloodworms. One day I feed them the algae wafers. It's like 2 wafers per fish. My fish are fairly big. And the next day I feed them the frozen bloodworms. Now that your fish are ready, let's get the spawning tank ready. If you have a tank dedicated to spawning your bristlenose, you can use a tank as small as 10 gallons, but most of us use a 20-gallon tank. A 20-gallon community tank will be just fine. My tank is a 20-gallon tank with lots of cherry shrimp. The water conditions will be the same as your fish have been already living in, because they're already used to that and they're doing just fine. These fish spawn in caves, so you need to give them something like a cave for them to spawn in. Many fish keepers use a watering spike, like I do. Here's the one that I use. The first time they spawn, you should give your fish several caves to choose from and several locations to choose from. The male can get quite picky about which cave and which location to use. Now that we have the fish and tank ready for the spawning, the fish should spawn and spawn again and again. But sometimes we need to trick the fish into thinking it is time to spawn, which in the Amazon basin they come from would be the start of the rainy season. This tricking them into thinking it's time to spawn is called triggering the pair into spawning. One approach to triggering them to spawn is to do a 50% water change that lowers the water temperature by about 4 degrees. That simulates the cooler water temperatures that happen when the rainy season begins. Or you could add flow to your tank by attaching a submersible pump to the top of your tank to make the water flow across the tank. This simulates the increased flow in streams that happens during the rainy season. Here is my pump attached to the top of my tank, making that flow. My pump has little suction feet, which I use to attach the pump to the inside of the tank at the top. Once the spawning starts, it can take a full day to complete. There may be several rounds of the female laying her eggs, coming out of the cave, then the male goes in and fertilizes the eggs. This repeats until the female runs out of eggs. Please remember to watch the video all the way to the end, because I will show clips of the eggs and of the fry and how much they grow during their first week, growing from tiny, chubby little fry with their yolk sacs to miniature versions of the adults. If you like this video, please leave a like below and subscribe to my channel. I have a lot more videos on breeding aquarium fish and fish keeping, so please check out my channel, Big G's Fish Tank. Also, please help fund my channel at buymeacoffee.com. That will help me provide you with more and better videos. I provide a link in the video's description below that you can use to fund my videos at buymeacoffee.com. The eggs will hatch in about 5 days. Daddy Pleco will stay with the eggs in the cave guarding them, fanning the water over them, and making sure that they stay fungus free. If you want, you can leave the eggs with Daddy. Daddy will do an awesome job of hatching the eggs, and the fry will stay in the cave with Daddy while they are living off their yolk sacs. Here is a short clip of the eggs in the cave. This is a very small clutch of eggs. It yielded about 25 fry. I just had another clutch hatch yesterday with over 80 fry. I'll be making a grow out video of this new batch in the next few weeks as they start growing out. Or you can take Daddy and the eggs and the cave out of the tank and put them in their own container. Then when the fry start roaming about after hatching, you won't be spending hours or days catching the fry if you want to move them at that time. The fry move very fast and they're very small, so they are very, very hard to catch. Another advantage of putting the fry in a separate grow out tank is so that Daddy Pleco will start eating sooner and will be ready for the next spawning session sooner. Daddy Pleco doesn't eat much, if any, while guarding the fry. Here is my hatching container. I put in a couple of Neocaridina shrimp culls to help handle the waste, a piece of catappa leaf just to make the water more Amazon forest-like, some crushed coral to provide calcium for bone growth, and then an air stone for aeration. I also put in an algae block made by super gluing several filter rings together and keeping them in my tanks just to grow algae. These blocks provide food for the fry while they're learning to eat adult Pleco food. Once the fry start coming out of the cave, I put bits of algae wafers in the water with them so they can start learning to eat them. Once they are readily eating the wafers and other adult Pleco food, you may move them into a grow-out tank. Now it's time to look at the growth of the fry from day 1 to day 8. Here are some of the fry on day 1. The yolk sacs are bright yellow, as you can see. Also look at how chubby and how small they are, but how cute they are. And they are very tiny and helpless. This dish is 2 inches diameter. That makes a fry about 1/4 of an inch long. Day 3. The fry's tails are now much, much longer. They are about as long as a yolk sac now. But the yolk sac is still pretty large, as you can see, compared to the rest of the fry. Day 5. Wow, look at that yolk sac. It's going away. And the length of the fry is now about 3 times as long as the yolk sac. Now let's look at them on day 8. These guys are now about 1/2 of an inch long, and that yolk sac is almost completely gone. They are starting to swim around a lot now, and they are starting to eat little pieces of algae blocks now. So they're about ready to get out there, go out into the grow out tank. So now let's compare these fry from day 1 and on day 8. And look at this. In just 1 week, the fry almost double in length and now look like miniature fish instead of yellow blobs. That yolk sac is almost all gone. By the darker area in their gut, it does look like they're starting to eat. I just had another clutch hatch yesterday with over 80 bristlenose Pleco fry. So I'll be making a grow out video from this new batch in the next month or so as they start growing out. Also, I'm going to be doing some experiments on these fry to see if I can find ways to get these fry to grow out even faster, and I'll be showing results of those experiments. Awesome video clips of the fry, weren't they? Most of the time, bristlenose Plecos are easy to get to spawn. You just need to wait until they grow large enough to spawn and provide them with several breeding cages to choose from. If you find this video helpful or just enjoy watching it, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. My goal is to have 100 subscribers and 2,000 views for this channel by the end of August. Please help me make more and better videos by funding my channel at buymeacoffee.com. I'm going to post a link down below that you can click on to go over and fund me. Also, if you have suggestions for future topics or ways to better help you, please leave a comment below. Please click here to subscribe. I have more awesome videos on fish keeping. You can view them by clicking here. I have a playlist of my videos on bristlenose plecos here, and I have a playlist of videos on Corridora catfish, which you can view by clicking here. Thank you for watching, and looking forward to you joining us for the next video.